You're in a room full of people, laughing, talking, surrounded, and somehow you feel more alone than you do at home by yourself. You can be in a crowd, at a party, even lying next to someone you love, and feel a hollow, aching distance you can't explain. It makes no sense on the surface. How can you feel lonely when you're literally not alone? But this kind of loneliness might be the most painful of all. And the fact that it makes no logical sense is exactly the clue to what's really going on. Because loneliness was never about how many people are near you. Once you understand what it's actually measuring, the whole experience finally makes sense, and you can start to answer it. Here's the foundation everything rests on. Loneliness is not about the quantity of people around you. It's about the quality of connection you feel with them. It's the gap between the connection you have and the connection you need. This is why you can be surrounded and starving, and why you can be alone on a mountaintop and feel completely at peace. Loneliness isn't measuring how many bodies are in the room. It's measuring whether you feel truly seen, known, and understood by anyone there. And you can be drowning in company while dying of that particular thirst, because presence and connection are not the same thing at all. Which brings us to the sharpest form of it, the loneliness of not being known. You can have people who know your name, your job, your jokes, your surface, and still feel that no one knows the real you underneath, your true thoughts, your fears, what actually moves you. This is the specific ache of being surrounded by people who know about you but don't know you. And it can be lonelier than solitude, because being unseen while in company carries a second sting, the painful sense that you're right here, reachable, and still nobody is reaching the actual you. In real solitude, at least the distance makes sense. In a crowd, the distance feels like a verdict. Now, why does this happen so much, especially now? Here's the first driver. So many of our interactions have become shallow by default. We fill our days with small talk, pleasantries, surface exchanges, transactions, and these do almost nothing for the deep human need to be known. You can have dozens of these interactions a day and remain profoundly unmet because none of them touch anything real. It's the emotional equivalent of eating and eating but getting no nutrition. The volume of contact goes up, the depth goes to zero, and you're left wondering why, with so much interaction, you feel so empty. The second driver is the one almost nobody admits. We often feel lonely in company because we're hiding. When you're with people but performing a version of yourself, wearing the mask, saying what's expected, keeping the real thoughts and feelings tucked away, you guarantee your own loneliness, because it's impossible to feel connected to others while concealing who you actually are. Any warmth that comes back lands on the mask, not on you, so it can't reach you, can't fill you. And here's the trap. The more disconnected and unsafe you feel, the more you hide, and the more you hide, the more disconnected you feel. You can be the one holding the door shut and still ache at how closed it is. The third driver is a cruel loop that loneliness itself creates. When you've felt this ache for a while, your mind, trying to protect you, starts scanning for signs of rejection everywhere, and finding them in a neutral glance, a short reply, a moment of being left out. Loneliness makes you hypersensitive to exclusion and quietly convinces you that others don't want you. So you withdraw, hold back, don't reach out, brace for the rejection you now expect. And that self-protection reads to others as distance or disinterest, so they step back too, which your mind takes as proof you were right to withdraw. Loneliness becomes self-fulfilling, building the very walls that keep the connection out, all in the name of keeping you safe. There's a fourth piece, more modern. We're comparing our connections to an impossible highlight reel. Everywhere you look, other people seem to have thriving friendships, effortless belonging, packed and joyful lives, at least in the version they show. So your normal, imperfect, sometimes lonely social life gets measured against everyone else's edited best, and you conclude that you're uniquely disconnected, that something is wrong with you specifically. But you're comparing your quiet inner truth to their curated outside, and nearly everyone, including the people who look most surrounded, knows this exact ache. The belief that you're the only lonely one in a world of connected people is itself one of loneliness's cruelest lies. And we have to name the cost, because this isn't just an unpleasant mood. Chronic loneliness is a genuine health issue, with effects on the body and mind that researchers compare to serious physical risks. But there's a gentler way to understand the pain. Loneliness is a signal, like hunger or thirst. Hunger tells you your body needs food. Loneliness tells you your soul needs connection. It's not a defect or a punishment. It's a message from a deeply social creature that a core need isn't being met. The pain has a purpose. It's trying to move you back toward the thing you actually need. And that reframe changes everything about how you answer it. So how do you answer it? Because the solution is not simply more people. If it were, you wouldn't feel lonely in a crowd. The first shift is to aim for depth, not volume. One conversation where you're truly honest, truly yourself, does more for loneliness than 100 surface exchanges. So instead of trying to be around more people, try to go one layer deeper with the people already there. Share something real. Ask a genuine question. Let one interaction be about something that actually matters. Connection is built in the moments of realness, not in the number of contacts, and a single true exchange can quietly end an evening of feeling unseen. The second shift is the brave one, and it's the true cure. Let yourself be seen. Loneliness in company is often the price of hiding, so the only way out is the frightening step of lowering the mask. Just a little, letting someone see a real thought, a real feeling, a real piece of you. Yes, it risks rejection, that's why it's brave, but it's the only thing that makes real connection possible, because you cannot be truly accepted while staying hidden. Only your mask can. And a loved mask leaves you lonelier than before. Every real connection you've ever had began the moment someone let themselves be known. Being seen is the whole point. It's also the only thing that fills the ache. The third shift is to gently question loneliness's story. Because remember, it lies. It tells you that you're unwanted, that others don't care, that you're uniquely alone, and it makes you withdraw on the strength of that belief. So when you feel the pull to pull back, to not send the message, to assume you're not wanted, recognize that as the loop, and do the opposite of what it urges. Reach out anyway, extend the invitation, take the small risk of connection. You are almost certainly more wanted than the ache lets you feel, and someone near you is very likely feeling the exact same loneliness, waiting, just like you, for someone to reach first. So the next time you feel that hollow distance in a room full of people, understand what it really is. Not proof that something's wrong with you, not evidence that you're unwanted, but a signal that the connection around you has gone shallow, or that you've been hiding the very self that longs to be known. The cure was never more people. It's more realness, letting yourself be seen, going one layer deeper, refusing to believe loneliness when it tells you to withdraw. You are a creature built for deep connection, and the ache you feel is simply that need, calling you home. You don't have to fill the room. You just have to let one person truly in, and let yourself, at last, be found.